Hi, Lori. Hi again. We've decided to talk in terms of predictions, which for me, one of the things I don't like about predictions, and I've been an intuitive for what, 45 years. And one of the things I don't like is many people live into them. So I want to say in advance, let's use the predictions. Like if you don't like your hairdo, what do? You look in the mirror and change it out a little bit, if you can. And so I'm being playful here, but I do it on purpose. I don't love to give my clients major predictions because some of them will just live right into it and they can't help themselves. It's a slippery slope, huh? So anyway, let's use that information however we predict things. Okay. So here we go. Let's call in the presence. And I like to call in the golden stream of light from infinity plus one and ask for the support of consciousness as we bring it right down through our souls with our central nervous system. And if you practice this enough, you will feel yourself doing it regularly. And it moves right into the core of the earth. Good. Turns around, shoots back up, rewinds your soul's journey to receive and bless and so on, way up into infinity plus one. And how we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about predictions for 2025. And well, let's go, Lori, you're on.
Okay. This is more fluid, and let's start with some of the world events. That's always a fun one with particular people, particular situations, particular countries, events. Do you want me to jump in with specifics?
Yes, please. And because sometimes I go into La La Land, you may have to remind me what each person or character is doing. You may not have to,
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's get at it, Lori.
Let's jump over to the war in Gaza.
Oh my God. It brings tears to my eyes, huh?
Will there be an end to the Gaza war this year?
What I want to say, I got tears already. The brutality is so unfathomable, and it will end probably not till April, May, June, something like that. And but the wreckage is terrible.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. Well, carry on with your questions. I want to say that it doesn't look like it's cleared up because of some incredible prejudices that's impacting this war.
Exactly. It's an apartheid state, basically. But you see the war winding down March, April, did you say?
Yeah, April, May.
Okay.
But when you say winding down, it's almost like it's paring down the population. And once again, I just want to cry my heart out.
Oh.
I mean, what's the matter with us as species? But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. And yet Netanyahu, what's his future?
He's going to, I don't know if he's going to be murdered or if he's going to, he looks like he's going to be injured, and he should be out of the, he's going to hang in for a bit longer. I know a lot of us would prefer he weren't. You know why? Is he doesn't have any heart and soul. He's hard. He's a hard person with a venom about Jewish people, or not Jewish people, about the Palestinians.
So we had seen a possible assassination with him. Is it
that could still happen? I just see that he's either going to die or I'm not sure. There's some denouement coming up in him in February, March.
Right. And well, we know the criminal court has an arrest warrant out for him.
But we've seen how they've arrested people or certainly nailed people like Trump, and nothing's happening.
Yeah. But is there a possibility Netanyahu gets arrested? Or is it more likely that he'll be extinguished?
I think he's going to have to be extinguished. My reading is that when you say arrested, that's not good enough for him. He'll do whatever it takes to get out. And he has some cohorts around the world as well that can help him. Okay. There's a number of gangster leaders like him around the world that are in what I used to call the tourniquet. And, you know, that there's this association, and it's really scary. It's that what could happen. And I'm saying that out loud, and I'm going, okay, here's a prediction that is going to be interrupted by February. That communion of these people that are dictators, really heavy duty dictators, and how they support each other. There's going to be something that tears that up in February.
Wow.
Yeah, they won't be able to maintain it. And that would make me very happy. I don't know how people at home feel. Yeah.
Let's jump to Donald Trump. Do you see Donald Trump?
Lori, don't jump on him, okay?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are kind of throwing the 14th Amendment around right now.
Okay.
Do you see Donald actually getting certified and in office?
No, I do not. I do not.
You and many
I don't know
psychics.
That's the reason, but there's a number of reasons why he's being stopped. And one of it is his own weakness, which you could bring in from any of the windows coming into his thing. But he's got that hard ass, excuse my language, dictatorial might thing. And that's what kind of pushes him through all the walls. So the 14th Amendment, I really like that. But so far, he's had too much support in the Supreme Court and all these other places.
So do you see what stops his inauguration? Do you see a particular thing? Is it Biden? Is it
I think it's Biden.
Is it information about the election? Money? Was money interference from foreign adversaries? Yes,
I would say. I thought when you said money, you meant he was going to run out. No, no way.
No.
But he's got a weakening of his position in the world that's already started, and it's his position in the world is waning in support and strength right now, and it's going to continue to wane.
I mean, is he going to be taken out before the 20th of January? Assassinated?
Well, I want to say no, but I want to say he could be very ill. Again, waning.
Right.
One of the problems with having him or other people taken out is we don't know what the ancillary activities are and who's all involved in that. So it's not just about Trump, it's about other dangerous actors.
So if he's not being inaugurated, then that means Biden. Do you see Biden staying in longer in this transition period?
And you know, he will. So Kamala is apparently questioning whether she wants to go through very much more of it. So I would say that he'll stay in and she will be his sidekick. But part of it, I also see that she might be choosing not to stay in that position, you know, but he'll get help. And it will only go on till my guidance have said probably the third week in February or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's a lot of ruckus between now and then, as you know.
Then what? I mean, what happens after this transition?
I can't do a long-term prediction on this.
No, I know, because I'm
like
so
shredding.
Curious.
They're shredding. No, what I want to say this because I think it's interesting. They're shredding a lot to do with the American system between now and then. You find there's a lot of people going, what the heck? who do I trust? Look at the media. People don't want anything to do with a lot of the big media. You know, I mean, it's really incredible what's going on. And if you look at it as a shredding process, no matter how you look at the American way of life, it doesn't mean it's all going to be zero and voiding out, but there's a lot of connections that are not being made in familiar patterns. So we don't know what's going to happen in February, but we've said for quite a while that Biden comes in, or he's already in, that he picks up the slack. And in a way he really likes, he's not an arrogant ego man, but in a way he really likes that. He even thrives on the horrible abuse that comes at him because he's expecting it. And he's kind of going, you know, because what he's fighting is evil and he knows it. He's a good person, meaning he's a spiritually aligned person.
Right. And what's going to happen with Russia and Ukraine? Will Putin stay in power? Sorry, those are two different questions.
Ask the question again, especially.
What's going to happen with Russia and Ukraine?
Well, Russia is being bolstered by somebody over on this side of the world. You know that. I know Ukraine is as well, but Russia has some big friends in probably China and Korea, you know, and so it's got some kind of further support that most of us don't expect.
Will the war end? Yeah, will the war end in 2025 in Ukraine?
Yes.
And will there be will there be a change of leadership in Russia?
Only in the sense that he is partnering up with several people from different parts of the world.
Okay.
And that's changed it quite a bit.
Wow. And then on the pro-democracy front, all this wonderful, you know, pro-democracy movements that have been going on in Korea, oh my God, and Georgia and Romania, yeah. It's just,
and Mexico.
Yes.
No, it's really good. Unfortunately, well, you don't need me to say this, but it gets undermined by some of the more venomous opposition for each of them. But this is something we talked about, the tourniquet. This is something that we need to hold, is a huge bond amongst those countries, especially, it sounds like prejudice saying, especially because it's women, but we're not saying that it's prejudice. We're saying it's time that an ancient inequity gets pulled forward. And those women better stick up to their credibility and their integrity, but we're seeing that they will.
Yeah.
There's some African ones as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We have a new woman in Uganda, I believe, who's the president now.
Isn't that wonderful? And so we're saying, here's what guidance is saying about it, that you have to be really, really strong in 2025. You have to be really strong and hold up, wave the flags or hold up the muscles in our, like the Ukrainians. Look at them. They're really feisty and they're doing it. We need to be behind them, even Russian women, frankly. And different countries, we need to stand by them. And the guidance is saying in my head, you need to recommend support for these groups. You know, some of it's going to look very tattered, and yet we have to stand strong because this is a worldwide event. As we speak about, it's worldwide, is it not? And a lot of people are aware that it's a world war, in that pretty much all unifying systems are shredding. simultaneously. And that doesn't mean there's no nucleus left. A lot of them have the nucleus, but there's some tremendous, my guidance is saying that there's, and Mira Chris is here right now, there is some tremendous birth coming up through this year where there will be, and it makes me want to cry in a good way, that there is a tremendous birth of new ways, new systems, new ways of thinking. And also one of the things that's being shredded are the worldwide financial systems and so on. And a lot of that needs our caring to push it. Do you see what I mean? Even though I'm nobody in the political world, we need to think like, oh, we need to shore up. You know, they're shoring up the Ukraine right now, the political forces in America. But this is a little different level that we need to all be talking about. The Korean women, or, you know, whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? To reach out of our separated little homes. Some of us aren't in a separated little home right now. But we need to reach out with our minds and give it juice, love, respect. We want to be nurturing. Nurturing is the greatest human commodity. And we want, and one more thing, can I speak about Elon Musk? Because
yes, please.
You've noticed that Elon and Trump are acting like Trump's in, and Elon is taking over as much of it as he can. And people are to me, they seem to be in overwhelm, and he needs to be stopped. Trump will be stopped. Elon needs to be stopped.
What's going to happen? Well, there's something we can discuss this year. What's going to happen with Elon?
Well, apparently by about April, he's going to be dethroned, meaning he's gotten too much power, got too much money, too much power, too much intelligence. Although even Biden's probably an example of that, having more intelligence than he thinks. You know what I mean? There's a lot of intelligent people around the globe that can see through Elon. And he's going to be defrocked. Is that the right word? Dethroned, defrocked. Probably throughout March and April, maybe earlier if we're lucky. Some part of his business collapses.
Oh, wow.
In a big way. But he thinks he's been Johnny Appleseed. He's sowed his seeds through all these different countries.
Yes.
And he thinks that he's safe. Well, he's not, because humans all over the world are darn smart. Right? And I think that he is not as smart as he likes to think.
Right.
And he's not a nice man. So one of the things we're saying here, Lori, is that you're going to see a rising up of the respectful integrity of people in different positions. Like Netanyahu doesn't have it, right?
No.
And neither does whatever his name is in North Korea. You know, we know a lot of them that don't, and we all go, oh, well, that's just the way they are. No, it's going to change, because the rising tide of feminine wisdom. And I know a lot of men who love the feminine wisdom. So it's not like we're going to beat up the men. Maybe.
No, I don't think you need to apologize for it either. It's time for women to have a place.
Well, it's been thousands and thousands of years.
There needs to be a whole new paradigm. You know, it's not working the way it is, clearly.
And speaking of that, Lori, it's interesting because the word paradigm and paradigm shift, which is a term I just love, is a very rapid shift of consciousness in a species, a rapid shift of consciousness. So if we look at it that way, you know, expect.
Exactly.
Yes.
And do you see, do you see any major medical breakthroughs in science?
Yes, huge. The rebuilding of the body, we already know about that. a lot of reconstruction of physical bodies. Also, one of my pet things is, and I do this with my clients, but is the evolution of our species. We have cellular makeup, which is capable of regrowing parts of our body, but capable of reactivating parts of our brain that are not active enough. We have all kinds of stuff. And what I'm seeing is over the next 5, 6, 7 years, you're going to see so much of that kind of thing. Because people, we've already had a lot of genetic stuff because people are doing 23andMe and all that kind of thing. But that's just a needle in the haystack in a way. Like everything that we're going to learn in health, and you already know this part, is systemic, right? That excites me no end. So we can say, oh, I don't approve of this or that. Who cares? We're going to move through it.
Are there any particular diseases you think they're going to have a much bigger handle on this year?
Well, one of them is this is not a disease, but it is. The food. Going to be a huge shift in what foods are allowed. And there's going to be a lot of, I don't understand, even as I speak to you, I see the whole thing turning around. So the food industry is going to have to do a face plant because the awareness of what happens when you have good quality food with little kids in schools is huge.
Yeah.
Right. And it's time. But how long have we been fed crap, you know?
Yeah. All the sugar that's
and as soon as you ask that, they say, oh, your food supply is going to be so different.
Wow. Well, this is good.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's back to the women. It's not only women doing it. There's a lot of people who care about that subject, and they care about whether trees are all dying. They care about that whole composite of real life pumping through our foods and our minds.
Right. And just one more question. So in regards to climate change, you know, we have made, and whenever I tell people this, they sort of get very cynical, but we have made progress in terms of our target number that we need to hit to stop the climate from changing. We are slowly making, we're progressing along that timeline. Now, whether we can hit it or not, don't know. I think it's 4 years from now, 4 or 5 years from now.
You know what I'm seeing, Lori?
Yeah, what do you see?
That it's, and this is to me exciting. It's not a linear progression of events. That there's an evolutionary appreciation of life that's rising amongst people, and that will be kind of a quantum leap compared to this inch by inch water heat.
Yeah. So do you think we will be, as a species, do you think we're going to be able to hit the percentage that scientists feel we need to hit?
Yes, I do.
I have felt it also very strongly in my gut that we're going to do it. Because
and remember, we talked about predictions.
Yes.
Keep those. Go ahead.
Well, you know how it is. We all have free choice. So predictions are right now, in the moment, here and now. It's what it looks like at this very moment. And that can change. That can change.
Fear is a very daunting tool to use against the law.
Yes.
If we do that, I won't have any money. If I do that, you know, people have to get over things.
Well, very, very exciting about the climate change thing. In the moment, it looks like we actually do hit the numbers that, you know, that we're trying to hit. That's incredible.
And Mother Earth wants that.
Yes. And do you see any incredible new technologies coming out? For instance, I know Norway is now constructing the first, whether you like cruise ships or not, they're constructing the very first 100% solar powered cruise ship.
Isn't that wonderful? I'd love to get on it.
But, in terms of technologies, do you sense there's anything that's just amazing that's coming this year?
Okay, so what I'm seeing, I told you sometimes anyway, what I'm seeing is there's a tremendous number, but it's kind of the core, the crucial foundational technology that creates a proliferation of new possibilities. That's what's coming. Brand new. It might even be thought-driven technology, or
I have been wondering about this. I have been waiting for this thought-driven technology. I know, unfortunately, Elon is doing brain implants for this kind of technology, but it's geared, well,
he would be okay.
Initially, it was geared towards people with disabilities who don't have mobility and they need their brains to operate the computer through their thoughts. So however he works with that in a maniacal way, I don't know. But yeah. Go ahead. Well, no, before we go, what about UFOs?
Oh, how wonderful. They're around. You already know that. And they're watching us to see how we're doing. I think that I don't know as much about them as some people do, but when I look just in response to your question, I see some beings around that are watching. There's a lot of testing and watching and so on. Probably Elon is one, I don't know. But they look like there's a lot. It's interesting. Some of them are just really determined and ambitious, but there's a lot of compassion coming through these, big compassion coming to the earth through these. So
will they reveal themselves more this year than they have in the past?
So yeah, I think so. The only reason they don't is obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. Are we ready?
Well, I think what's ready. Okay. Well, final thing I want to say is we are so wise to look at our fears and put them over here and look for solutions, because the thoughts are going faster than ever before. The ETs are coming faster than ever before. Healings are going faster than ever before. Get your mind going faster than ever before. And when you're afraid, melt it, laugh at it. There's no point. There are times we have to be afraid. You know that, and I know that. But I'm warning people, because so much media stuff is built to inspire our fear and all the hormones that come with that. We've got to really look at that and go, I refuse that.
Well, great. It sounds like a really forward year.
I think it's and it is an energizer. So you probably will love this, Lori. I want to say, get rid of the fear. You're better to have orgasms than fear.
There you go.
But you see what I mean? The excitement and the hormones and all that, right?
Absolutely.
Pick it.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's good to talk to you. Thanks.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone.
It sounds like a great year in all of its strangeness currently.
We want it to be strange. The repeated patterns haven't been working that well.
No. Want to get rid of it, break it down, move it up, move it out.
And I look forward to any comments that you want to send in. I appreciate that a great deal. And subscribe.
Yay. Woo. Okay.
Happy New Year, Lori. Happy New Year, everyone.
See you, V.
Okay.